Rob, the thing about this bill, no one could be happy with this bill, to be honest with you. Two reasons. One, there's no offsets. There's no pot of money that we're getting this money from. Secondly, only 9% goes for the COVID relief. And I think, we've been dealing with this pandemic since January of 2020, 15 months, and we've learned a lot. And I think the main thing, this country wants to get back open for business and get children back in school, let the businesses operate. Here in South Carolina, we've been lucky because the governor has let the businesses open. But in many parts of the country, they have not. North Carolina, California, New York. And it's just a terrible bill that does nothing for COVID. And the irony of it, to have the pork that's in this bill, and I just found out yesterday that Nancy Pelosi has got, I think it's $600 billion that's paying for her state to get out of the red, is unacceptable and should be. People ought to be outraged about this, and I think they are.
The House is going to vote this week on this bill. I think the Republicans would need 4 Democrats to cross the aisle. Do you think that there's any chance this bill doesn't pass, or is it going to end up like it did a couple weeks ago?
Rob, I'd hope so, but Nancy Pelosi yields an iron fist with her members. They pretty much are in lockstep. Privately, a lot of them do not like the bill, but they're just scared to speak out. And it's such an insult to have this much money go to states that are blue, that are friends of the left. And they're going to, most of the money's going to states like New York, who has 8.2% unemployment. We have 4.6%,
right.
And it's just going to states that should not get the money, and it's not based on equity in any manner.
Ironic, sir, that the states.
I would hope more that would cross the line, but I doubt it.
It's ironic the states that remained open, largely like Georgia, like Florida, like South Carolina, are not in fiscal trouble right now, but the states that are still closed, California, New York, the big two, they're the leaders of the pack, are in so much trouble. And this bill is just a bailout for those states, like you said. LBJ, with his not-so-great society, created the modern welfare state that exists in this country today. We are a nation where citizens are constantly looking for handouts. Do you think that our founders, way back when they drew up the Constitution, had anything like this in mind?
Not really. I mean, it's people are like in a daze with this, and they're just following like lemmings to whatever the radical left wants to do. And very few people are saying that it's a bad bill. Very few, other than the Republicans. And the stimulus checks that are going out, people would gladly give those, as I mentioned, to just be open for business. And for the federal government to go into debt even more. We're $30 trillion in debt now, 3.9 for 2020.
Yeah.
They would gladly, although everyone needs the money, but operating their businesses is far more important than getting a one-time check. They've already gotten $1,200. The unemployment's $300 extended through September. So it's just all around just a bad bill.
I'm curious, Congressman, we're 49 days now into the Biden administration. The president has yet to hold a press conference and take any questions, and he hasn't gone out there, not once, to sell this bill to the American people. What do you think's going on over there at the White House?
Rob, it's obvious he can't put two sentences together. I mean, to go from President Trump, who took on all comers when it came to questions, he had daily briefings. This president has yet to have one. He's on a teleprompter, and I tell you, it's a national security matter. It's obviously cognitively he doesn't have it, and you wonder who's steering the ship. It's nobody other than I guess his designees and Kamala Harris. But it's a sad day when the president of the United States cannot even take a press conference. Look what's happening on the border. I mean, we talk about the budget. Look what's happening all over the country with the border, with China. And it's a serious issue that I think if you look behind the scenes, a world of people are upset about it. And we'll probably have to do something in the near future if he doesn't start taking questions.
Do you believe that, sir? Do you believe that Joe Biden is in the midst of some sort of cognitive decline? And do you think that he'll be president by the time we make it to 2024, which is a long way off from now? He'll be 82 at the time.
It is, and I don't think he will. I think it's got to be addressed. 2024 is a long way off, as you said, and I think if he can't do any more than what he's doing now, you will see things happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't that they don't admit he's got a serious medical issue and take steps to either take his power away or try to deal with him in some manner, because this isn't acceptable. When in the history of this country have we had a president, the leader of the free world, not be able to talk and take questions? And we got serious questions that this country is facing.
You got to go back to Calvin Coolidge, 15 presidents ago, for the last time it took this long to have a first press conference with the media. It's shocking stuff. Quickly, the administration canceled the Keystone Pipeline. They've defunded the police. They ended construction on the border wall. They've kept schools closed throughout the country. And they caused, as you said, a national security crisis on our southern border. 80 million Americans voted for this guy. Should many of those Americans feel cheated today with what's happened in just 49 days?
Absolutely. And I tell you, Rob, for your listeners, where it's going to hit is when every one of us start paying $5, $6, $7 for a gallon for gas.
And that's coming. That's coming this summer.
I talked to some people from Texas who are being overrun on the border by the illegal immigrants. We got a national crisis on so many fronts, and this president is just unable to deal with it. He just can't function, and so something's going to have to be done, and the American people are going to have to start demanding it. And the problem is, you look at a radical like Kamala Harris; she's the second in charge, and that's not acceptable. So it's a